Hello YouTube, Professor Codger here. Welcome to Tobacco 313 Codger Blends. Some pipe tobaccos are closely tied to a particular generation of smokers. They were inexpensive, widely available, easy to smoke, often sold in drugstores, grocery stores, general stores, over the counter, rather than at specialty tobacconists. Today, these mixtures are often called Codger blends. The term is informal, but describes an important part of American pipe smoking history. For this seminar, we're going to use Carter Hall as our representative blend. Go ahead and get that packed up while I'm talking. Carter Hall is one of the classic American over-the-counter pipe tobaccos. This is a larger...
Did it spin or is it just...
No, it's not a screw-on. It's just on there pretty good.
Gotcha.
Primarily associated with a burly forward profile. They're supported with some Virginia, and I think there's a mild aromatic on there as well. Actually, this is large enough. I don't even need to...
Why do you think a lot of
Codger
Codger blends are burly forward?
I think because it's so widely available in America and it's cheap.
Yeah.
It's got body,
Yeah.
It's got some flavor and it carries flavor well. So whatever flavorings they add on, it'll jive well with.
Yeah. It's pretty neutral and it's not.
Yeah. Carter Hall represents many qualities associated with Codger blends: easy preparation, reliable burning, moderate strength, mild flavor, broad availability, everyday kind of tobacco. It's the kind of tobacco designed to be packed, lit, and smoked without much ceremony. So Codger blend, it's not an official tobacco classification. It usually refers to kind of these like old school
Drugstore
American
blends.
drugstore blends, associated with like everyday pipe smokers. Like there's an association of previous generation association with it, but they're plenty enjoyed
Right.
by modern smokers.
Yeah, see, a lot of the things that I've had that have been classified as a burly, like this tastes to me like burly. That's what, you know what I mean? Like it tastes like what I think burly. Because like I'll have like I said, the Haunted Bookshop. It's like, yeah, I taste the burly, but I taste the Virginias. I taste, this tastes. I don't taste. This just tastes like.
I might get a little bit of Virginia in here. I definitely get some chocolatey notes from burley. I feel like I'm getting a little bit of sweetness that might be coming from
There's a little
the
sweetness
Virginia.
that's. I guess you said like a light aromatic. There's definitely a slight little, and it's nice. It's pleasant. It's just a little hint.
I can't place it, but it is familiar.
It is.
I mean, it's familiar in my youth.
Okay, yeah, okay. I don't know if it's power of suggestion, but I feel like I might agree.
I mean, you were asked like kind of like why they're so burly forward, and that is a quality of them. They are burly forward.
Yeah.
The Codger blends, they're mildly aromatic, typically ribbon or coarse cut, easy to pack, easy to keep lit, relatively inexpensive. About $30 for a tin of this size, 14 ounces, which is a pretty good rate. I'd say it's about half of what similar amount
this size is
to say premium tobacco. It's 14 ounces.
Yeah, okay, for sure. This was ordered online.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so.
Yeah, and so that's why burly, right? Burly's central to many Codger blends. It burns cool, has a relatively neutral base flavor, readily absorbs flavorings, and makes it ideal for blends which are designed to be consistent, affordable, easy to smoke, mildly flavored, reliable from pouch to pouch or tin to tin, as it were.
Yeah, I associate that I guess like the generation I associate with smoking these type of blends is like kind of pretty no fuss generation. They just, I don't want to say they didn't care. It was just kind of like this is This is what they had at the drugstore. This is what they had at the supermarket. This is what they,
Right.
it's just kind of like, yep,
This
it's
is what the
tobacco.
local person who carried tobacco carried.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Virginia often added to the Codger blends to add some sweetness and improve the combustion, but not always.
Right.
It is there in this case.
Yeah, it's there, but it's not. To me, this is very burley forward.
Yeah.
And I like it. It's different than what I normally smoke, but I like it.
It reminds me of Haunted Bookshop without the tanginess that it has.
Yeah, and that tanginess I associate with the Virginias.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe is there Perique too in that? I think
there might be a touch
of Perique, but it does. I've been smoking the Haunted Bookshop a little more, and it's growing on me more. But I'm almost like,
this is a nice mild blend.
Yeah, it's mild, and
I
it
would really like
cool.
this. This is exactly the kind of thing I'm looking for like what I would call a shop tobacco.
Right.
The kind of thing you keep in the shop and just fill up your pipe, smoke. When it's empty, just throw some more in there.
Yep.
Keep on going. Keep on working.
Yep.
So for much of the 20th century, we were kind of touching on it a little bit. Pipe tobacco was not primarily like a specialty product. It was smokers could find familiar brands at drugstores, grocery stores, right. gas stations, general stores. That widespread availability helped turn blends into cultural fixtures. Prince Albert, there's a whole prank call about it.
What was that prank call? I forget.
Yeah, you have Prince Albert in a can. And,
you better
let him out, right?
Yeah. That's right.
It was that available where like just the culture would know about Prince Albert in a can to understand that joke.
Right, got it. Yeah.
They weren't necessarily prestigious, but they were familiar, and that was kind of part of the appeal. A smoker could travel, walk into a store, reasonably expect to find something he already knew, or not. If something he knew, something that would be like it.
It's funny, like, let's say you want, like, you enjoy a good burger or a good whatever, but there's still that craving for, like, I want a McDonald's burger, I want a Burger King burger. There's something like, and in every way, as like a meat connoisseur, you'd be like, this is an inferior product compared to the high quality meats I like sometimes. Mm-hmm. But then there's that craving for it. And I'm not saying this is in any way inferior per se, but I think that keeping things repeatable, like if you, like you said, you go anywhere, once you learn to like and grow accustomed to that taste, and then you can get it anywhere, right. It's, you're happy to not be surprised and just know what you're getting, and it becomes familiar.
Yeah. What you're looking for in Carter Hall, you're not looking for enormous complexity. Instead you'd be looking for the nuttiness of the burley. I'm getting it in a kind of chocolatey character.
Yeah.
There's a mild sweetness beneath it. I definitely get that. The soft aromatic note in there. So far the blend is demanding little attention. It's not, I haven't had to tamp. I've been talking. And
I tamped a couple times, but I probably didn't need to.
It's staying lit just fine.
Burley does smoke easy. I mean, I know it's not just all burley, but to me it tastes like burley. It tastes like more burley than I'm used to. It's cooler.
Yeah, this is definitely very, like, not just slight majority burley.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But it reminds me, when I even just looking at it, smell of it, some of the roll your own cigarette tobacco I've used before, a lot of that tends to be, which makes me wonder, well, first of all, I'm always amazed kind of how different Burley and Virginia as two just plain tobaccos are from each other. Like, same plant, and they're just so different. To me, even more so than, like,
yeah, there's some other smokable plants with differences between them, but they're not like really quite as stark as like what you get with like you're talking about a Virginia and a Burley, right?
Yeah. Well, even like we'll say compare like Virginia to like an Oriental. Although to be fair, I haven't smoked straight Oriental leaf, but they seem to be, the Oriental has these like fragrant qualities, but the underlying leaf seems to feel more similar to Virginia than Burley does to me. Like Virginia and Burley feel like two ends of a spectrum to me.
I'll talk a little bit about why Codger blends still matter. Modern pipe smokers, we have access to an enormous range of
Yeah.
premium and boutique blends, right? Codger blends are something different. They connect us to a time when pipe smoking was ordinary. They also remind us that tobacco does not need to be rare, complicated, expensive to be enjoyable. For some smokers, simplicity and reliability are the appeal.
Yeah, it's interesting. Like, just culturally, we live in a world right now where, you want something, you can look up reviews on Reddit, look up 20, 30 different types of that product on Amazon. You watch YouTube videos of people reviewing it. And there's a lot of hype. We have the means. You can order something on the internet from
Uh huh.
anywhere. So the access and the way that we think about our purchases, but like for an older generation, it would have just been like, you go down to the store, oh cool, they got potatoes, these kind of potatoes, these are the ones we're buying. Like, you're not like, I want my. So I'm sure a lot of people picked one blend and smoked it pretty much their entire pipe smoking career.
I would think so. Codger blends, I think they'd appeal to people who enjoy burley, right?
Sure.
Like that's really, I think, the main
Yeah, definitely. If that's your
uh,
choice tobacco,
kind of
it's
market for that. Yeah, that's your choice tobacco. Like you can't really beat it. It's on the cheaper end.
yep.
You can get it in large quantities, readily available, and it burns nicely. Smokes well. Also, for someone who wants something, mild or medium strength, maybe not something too strong, not too complicated. Maybe just interested in kind of smoking a little bit of tobacco history,
Yeah.
or someone looking for an everyday smoke, like I described earlier, a shop smoke.
Yep. Yeah, I think maybe the first like drugstore tobacco. I think the first time I bought a pipe, actually, before you introduced me to pipe smoking properly, I think I was hanging out with my friend Jocelyn, and we were at this like bodega, and they happened to have a corncob pipe, which was like, I don't even know, it was probably made of plastic or something. Like, it wasn't even, it was a very kind of shady bodega, and we yeah, it came in like a box, like you opened it, not a box, even like the plastic, you know what I mean,
Yeah.
like a toy almost. And I think we bought Captain Black, and I didn't even know at that time you weren't supposed to inhale pipe tobacco. We stuck a bunch in there, couldn't keep it lit, tried smoking it, inhaling it. It was just awful. We tried it all day too, and then like by the next day, I was like, I'm never doing this again. And then then you
Yeah.
kind of introduced me to the hobby proper a couple years later. But I think I think Captain Black, because of that, was sort of what I associated with the quintessential like drugstore blend, and
Definitely
it's
one
very
of them.
different than this.
Yeah, yeah,
It
yeah.
adds like a
That's much more of a focus
Cavendish,
on it.
like
Hmm.
Cavendish aromatic,
Yeah,
vanilla, or whatever you want to call it. But
much more focus on the flavor. This has a flavoring, but it seems more focused on the tobacco.
yep, yeah, this reminds me of like a roll your own cigarette tobacco that was prepared, cased, whatever, to be
Yeah,
humidified to be put into a pipe.
yeah. Codger blends occupy an unusual place in pipe tobacco culture. They're not defined by a leaf or a process or a flavor, uh, really defined by how they were used as everyday tobaccos for everyday smokers. Carter Hall, I think, represents this extremely well. It's mild, dependable, approachable, built to be smoked without fuss.
I could see myself smoking this kind of frequently, especially on like a budget where, let's say, I want to smoke a few bowls a day, but I maybe don't have a lot of. I'm running out of good tobacco, and I want to save
Yeah,
stuff in the cellar, but I want a couple more bowls.
if you have a situation where you could only have one blend and you're responsible for funding that, it's not the worst choice.
No.
You might be inclined to pick something like, say, a capstan or another similarly pricier blend.
Yeah.
But if it's for the same price, a tin of capstan or a tin of this, if you have to make that choice.
Well, sometimes too, like I might smoke, I might be craving smoking a pipe. I'll go have a bowl of tobacco that I really like. Maybe I've got a few more hours before I have nothing to do, and I want to sit outside, and I'm just 10 minutes later, I'm like, oh, I feel like having another pipe, and I don't necessarily need to break into a good tobacco again.
Right.
I could just fill up my pipe with some of this, like you said, almost like a work, and keep the session going.
Yeah, yeah, great session tobacco. See, also the kind of thing that with a group of people, you could just put down at the center of the table. Everyone could just take from
Sure.
at a pipe club or a meeting of some kind like that.
It's smoking cool. It's got a nice smoke like body when I exhale, and like
Mm-hmm.
creates a nice smoke, staying lit perfectly.
I've had no issues.
And sometimes even tobaccos I like, if you smoke them, like Virginias that I love, if you smoke them too fast and too aggressively, they can start to have some off flavors that
Mm-hmm.
get introduced. Um, there's absolutely nothing offensive about this. I can just sort of smoke it mindlessly and
Mm-hmm.
find that it's just good.
Yeah, no fuss. I think that's kind of the defining characteristic of a Codger blend.
Yeah, it's
Yeah,
really. And the background aromatic note, whatever you want to call it, it's subtle, but it's nice. You know?
it works well with the other flavors that they've got going on.
Yeah, it does. It complements the nuttiness of the burley.
Mm-hmm. All right, until next time, thanks for watching.